Fortnite OG has a huge problem. Now, I'm going to make this video a bit differently to most of my videos. Pretty much, this one hasn't got a script. This one isn't going to have funny editing, really. This is kind of just going to be a rant video because I don't really want to take time away from my normal videos to make a video where I complain about Fortnite OG, okay? So, pretty much, this is just going to be me ranting. Videos are back to normal next week. So, Fortnite OG. Now, if you watched my stream yesterday on this game, then you would know that I have one or two problems with it, right? So there's been heavy debate on Twitter about, Fortnite OG, is it good, is it bad, is it too sweaty, all that, right? And I have my own thoughts on Fortnite OG. And listen, okay? When I was coming home from college, just before I was about to play this mode, I turned to my friend and I went, listen, this mode is either going to be really, really good or absolutely terrible. And my whole kind of process hinged on the fact of whether Fortnite would mess up zero build or not. So what I mean by that is, basically, if you remember my video on Chapter 2 Remix, in my video I said that, Fortnite kind of ruined zero build for Chapter 2 Remix. Because one, the map wasn't made for zero builds. And for some reason, they got rid of all the zero build items. So portal bunkers were apparently in the game the whole time. I only saw one in the entire month of Chapter 2 Remix. That's so stupid. Like, crash pads, which are a key mobility feature to getting around the map or away from enemies, putting some distance between you and your enemies. They spawned in stacks of one. You couldn't see any. It was so weird. I found like 3 crash pads, and Shield Bubble Juniors apparently were in the game as well. Not Juniors, the real ones, but I couldn't find them. And I basically said, if Fortnite OG can't get zero build right, then I'm kind of afraid that this mode is kind of going to stink for a player like me who can't really keep up with builds players these days. And that's kind of what happened. So there's portal bunkers in Fortnite Remix, Fortnite OG, except I've only seen like 3. And that's not really a good sign for me personally. I don't know, but it's just, the map is obviously not built for OG, for no builds. Obviously, it was built for builds, obviously. But the lack of accommodation for zero builds players is kind of stupid because, in Chapter 2 Remix, even though that wasn't very good for builds, you had, like, for no builds, you had cars to give you some shield as you traverse the map. You had the grappler to let you go around the map in very quick speeds, allowing you to get access to the roofs and stuff. You had, on occasion, porta bunkers. Not really, though. That's, and you had, you had all these things that at least kind of helped. And obviously in Chapter 6, you have things that are obviously catered to zero build. And in Reload, you have the Shield Bubble Juniors, and every mode kind of has something for zero build players. But Fortnite OG doesn't. It just doesn't. Porta bunkers and, Shield Bubble Juniors and crash pads, they should be in zero build. They should be in zero build because it doesn't work without it. The map is too big. It's too wide. There's nothing there. It doesn't work for zero build. There's not many dips in the ground. All the mountains you can't get up to a lot of the mountains because of how they were made back in the day. You have to take zip lines, and not all the mountains even have zip lines. And speaking of the POIs, that's another one of my issues. Now, I know that's how it was, that this is how it was back in the day, but I don't really see that as an excuse. I don't think Fortnite should have started with Chapter 1 Season 1. I know why they did, but if I was them, I would have started after the Tilted Towers update. Because what's happened is, the problem is that there aren't enough POIs. There aren't enough. And the POIs that are there are really, really small. They are shacks in the middle of nowhere. You've got Dusty Depot, which is rubbish, like might I add. There's like 3 chests there maximum. You've got Moisty Mire, which is terrible. Especially if you're in zero build as well, you can't even like cone over the water. You've kind of just got to trudge through the sludge and just hope it works, but it won't work because you're going to get beamed. But luckily no one lands there, so you're fine. What I'm trying to say is that there's not enough POIs for all the players that are landing on the map, and the POIs that are there are really small, meaning that everyone's going to die off spawn, meaning the matches in OG is going to get really, really, really slow after like the first zone. Like, it's going to go down to, there's going to be like 20 players left after the first zone closes. It's crazy. I'm playing this game yesterday, made me remember, oh, this is why I was afraid to drop at named locations back in the day, because there is like a 3% chance you're going to make it off spawn. It is crazy. But another thing I want to talk about is skill-based matchmaking. Some people told me that OG doesn't have skill-based matchmaking, and that's, you know, that's fair enough. That's if it doesn't, fair enough. But I haven't heard anyone confirm that other than one guy in my comment section, so I'm just gonna leave that there. But I'll work under the assumption that it has, because most of what Fortnite puts out has skill-based matchmaking. I don't know what the hell they're doing this chapter, but skill-based matchmaking needs to be fixed. I'm not just talking about OG. I'm talking about Reload. I'm talking about Battle Royale. This has been a problem for me ever since Chapter 5 ended. We got into Remix, and immediately my lobbies are incredibly impossible to fight against, which is why I had to migrate over to zero build. I know that bots aren't in OG, and there's been a bit of debate on that, actually. Most Fortnite YouTubers that I've seen have actually been like, yo, this is a good thing. But I think that we need to think a bit bigger than this. We need to think of, oh, should bots be in public lobbies or should bots not be in public lobbies? Because at the end of the day, if you go into a Fortnite match, you will be sweating. If you want to win, you're going to be sweating, okay? Because there's no chance you're going to accidentally get a win, or there's no chance that you're just going to be playing as normal, you know, twiddling your thumbs and you're going to get a win, right? That's not how it works, okay? So you have to kind of lock in. Like, wasn't IShowSpeed playing for like 10 hours yesterday and he couldn't get a single win? Like, it's a bit crazy, but I'm thinking what we need is we need a mode with no bots. We need a mode with no bots, completely none. And that can be the main game, the main like matchmaking playlist, obviously. And then on the side, we can have one for bots. You can have one where it's queue into bots, queue into a bot lobby, and you can get and you can just fight against bots. I think that is an ideal solution, because bot lobbies exist in I'm talking about just Fortnite in general with this, by the way. I'm not talking about just OG. I think all of Fortnite needs to have like a bot selection playlist, right? Because I think that it's really, really hindering a lot of people's experience, because a lot of people have quit Fortnite because of the fact that it's too sweaty and it's too crazy. Zero build was made because build was getting out of hand. Quick edit was made because build was getting out of hand. Turbo building was nerfed in Season X because building was getting out of hand. They've been trying to fix this for years, and an easy way I think they can fix this is if they just add an optional bot lobbies option for players to play, you know, just so you can like relax and just have a nice time for a bit. And like, because bot lobbies exist anyway. People are finding ways to get into bot lobbies. They make these alt accounts and they load into them, but not everyone can do that. So really, they might as well just make bot lobbies like an actual mode, because people are just going to do it anyway. People will find a way. Well, you know what else is interesting? The fact that they only added solos and squads. I'm not sure why they did that. So you either have to play on your own in solos, and solos is one of the most miserable Fortnite experiences I've ever played in my life, because everyone for some reason is FNCS Timmy. Or you have to go into squads. And squads is a special place, because if you haven't got any friends, right, then you might as well die. Because what happens is you load into squads. Okay, you're sat on the island, you're sat on Spawn Island, and then one of your squad mates leave the game, so you're already down to 3 players. You land, one guy on the bus decides he's FaZe Timmy, and he flies down into Salty when you decided you want to go to Lonely Lodge, and then he gets killed immediately, and then when he dies, he leaves. Phil teammates are so stupid. They are idiots. They are idiots, man. I hate them so much. So I had to go play with subscribers this morning when I wanted to play some OG. It's crazy. And another thing I forgot to mention was heals. What the hell are they doing? If you're playing this mode, you better be the best player ever, because you cannot heal in this mode. The minis don't exist, and big pots are incredibly rare. You are most likely going to be carrying bandages around with you and maybe a med kit if the game is trying to be nice to you. You will not have 3 big pots. You won't have 2 big pots. You might not even have 1 big pot. It is so rare to heal in this mode, which doesn't quite work for builds, because builds kind of, you get into fights a lot in builds, and the problem with that is that you lose health in fights. So and you can't heal really. So I think you kind of see where I'm coming from here. And in zero builds, at least you have overshield, but even then. And the map is also too big as well. It's not big, it's just too open. It allows for third parties to come in and just eat your bum. It's not great. It's not great, man. So I've kind of laid down my thoughts here on Fortnite OG. As a little conclusion, I think that it sucks for zero build because the map obviously wasn't built for zero build, so that's not Fortnite's fault. But what is their fault is the lack of optimization for zero build, with the lack of crash pads, shield bubbles, and portal bunkers. I know portal bunkers are in the game, but again, they are incredibly low in spawn rate. And I know there's going to be some kid in the comments saying, "Oh, Craig, those things weren't in Chapter 1, Season 1. Yeah, and I don't care, right? I think zero build is allowed to kind of break that a little bit, because you kind of need some mobility items and some items in zero build to kind of make it work. You kind of need some certain items to make it a functional mode, and this game doesn't have that right now. And also, the POIs are also too small. There's not enough of them, and they're all too small, which basically means everyone's landing in the same POIs and everyone's dying off spawn, which then makes it it makes matches last longer and are more boring because everyone dies off spawn. So there's 20 players after the first circle, and then everyone's hiding for the rest of the match. Skill-based matchmaking, or whatever the hell it is too broken. I think you cannot win in this mode. You have to sweat because everyone else is sweating. So I think you should add an optional bot lobbies option for every mode, just for players that want to do that. Like, I wouldn't use it that much even. I'd use it for maybe 1 or 2 matches to maybe like warm up, or just to relax and wind down after a long day or something, and then I'd go play normal Fortnite, I think. And no heals as well. The no heals situation is stupid. I don't see why they did that, other than the fact that it's OG. And another thing as well, why the hell is the tac shotgun still got the Chapter 2 logo on it? Like, why is it still the Chapter 2 tac shotgun, but the pump is the Chapter 1 pump, and oh god. Personally, I think that I won't really be touching Fortnite OG very much. Not right now, at least. I think when Season 2 comes out, and when Tilted Tower, Shifty Shafts, Junk Junction, Lucky Landing, all those POIs come into the game, and the map gets a bit more diversified, and the loot pool kind of expands a little bit, I think that this game will be really fun, and I'm looking forward to bringing it back. But right now, I really don't like this mode. This is basically FNCS lobbies that I'm fighting against here. I can't play zero build. I'm forced into builds, which I don't like playing anyway, because of these difficult players that I have to go up against, which kind of just makes it miserable for me. And then I die, and then the cycle continues, and then I go play Chapter 6. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts for Chapter 1 OG right now. It's definitely an experience. It's definitely a mode, and I like what they've done. I like that they're bringing it back, but I think they could have made a few changes here and there to kind of improve the experience, because they're definitely not going for the full OG kind of, experience, because they've kept the new movement, which I like. I like the new movement, by the way. I'm glad they did that. And they kept the UI, some of the UI, and they've only changed a few things. So I really don't see it as a big problem if they make some changes to, like, I don't know, like the chances for shield potions to spawn, or if they add certain loot into zero build to make it more bearable. I think they should really do that. But yeah, no, that's kind of all my thoughts for Chapter 1 OG. I'm going to be streaming this Wednesday the new Fortnite mode. I think it's Fortnite Projectile, Fortnite Ballistic. I think it was called Fortnite Ballistic. I'm going to be streaming Fortnite Ballistic this Wednesday. It looks fun. I'm going to play it. Anyway, normal video on Thursday. Yeah, I think you'll like it. All right, bye.